Hello and welcome to this video. We'll see now some application how to use the buffer we have created and then how to automatize some procedure. Let's say we have now a buffer around the villages, a selection of villages of 2 km and a buffer of 1 km around some rivers. So I would like now to see which are the area more risky for flood around the villages and which one are the safer one. It's to say which one are the area of the buffer that are included in the river buffer as well, or the one that are excluded. So we can use two different geoprocess. Let's see the one for the one included. It is intersection. Double click. I made intersection between the river buffer and village buffer. In this case, I don't need to put select the feature because it's already a selection what I have loaded. Okay. Okay, so you see that here, this one are the one that is more risky, let's say. On the contrary, I can do another one difference to see which one are excluded. So I make difference village minus buffer river, let's say. Okay, and have a look. So now you can, let's say, differentiate the color. The difference I will put in green because they are the safest area. Let's do like this. And the intersection, let's say, is the reddish value because the one more in danger. So now you see with some very easy and simple procedure, you have made a small map of the villages and the risky and the safe area. That's just for didactical purposes. And now let's see something very interesting, that if I have a huge amount of data and I want to clip, because maybe I use only a small portion, I can do it automatically and in one passage to do all of this. Let's say I go here to my area of Kenya. Here I am. I zoom to visualize this part. Okay, and you see that if I activate roads, rivers, and villages as well, then I can extract the villages and the roads only of this region, because maybe I'm not interested into having all the data. So what can I do? I can go into the Kenya countries and I select this one. Okay, then I go into clip, but you see this is the normal interface, but I want to make it automatically, so I make a right click, batch process, and here the window. So how can I work in this window? First of all, here I have to select the input layers I want to be clipped. So since this project, only the one loaded in the project are available. So I want to clip the Kenya rivers, the Kenya roads, I add a row, the Kenya cities, here it is, and the Kenya villages. Here it is. Here the clip cover will be all Kenya counties, but the selection. So you see here, selected features, clip cover, true. Selected features, input cover is not true because I want to make the selection on all the information, all the features, not only the selection. So I just type no, then repeat no, no, and the last one. Okay. Then I can name or I can leave as it is. Then I will save once I am satisfied, and then I can say okay. Or as well, if I click here, for example, polygon line or point, there is a user interface in which I can maybe autofill with numbers do not autofill or autofill with values, I mean input layer plus some parameters. So you see it's highly customizable. So I can take the selected feature input cover plus some values, so you can customize as I want. Personally, I leave in temporary files and then I save if the result is satisfactory. Otherwise, I risk to have lot of files in my computer. So then I say OK. Takes a bit of time because you see it's a huge amount of data, but also in this case it's much better to make a clip, a selection, instead of working with a huge amount of data that you don't need. And another suggestion, keep as much clean as possible the table of contents, otherwise you risk to have a lot of useless data here that makes your table of contents less usable. Okay, so you see batch processing, okay, all the one has been clipped. So now let's work in table of contents to have an easy view. You see, if the clip has been null, it is null point. So this one can be iterated. Intersection point is the one I have already done before, so I'm not interested. I can delete layers, yeah. I make the same for the null line. The clip, I keep the clip. Null line, intersection. Let's say that is something that you can clean in order to have your, as loaded for your table of contents, cleaner. The polygon is if there's null, there's no interest into keeping in the table of contents. Okay, here I am. So you see now, if I remove, let's say, the roads and the rivers and the cities and the villages, now I have only the selection that I was interested in. So you see that now I can move. You see now I have only the information. I can change the color because maybe it's much better to differentiate the two information. Okay, here you see we have the two lines and rivers. If I want to see which is the one rivers and the one that are the roads, I just click here the tables and you see river stream, so this one is the river, and by consequence this one will be the road. So then you can easily export, as we have seen before, by layer, export to, and you export to KML or shapefile or whatever you want. So see, this is very easier because you will find more comfortable into working with a small amount of data than a huge amount of data. And please remember to keep as clean as possible the table of contents to avoid to have a lot of layers that maybe are useless for your purposes. Thanks so much.